What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcast for the next episode of Planetbase. My name is Splattercat, and in today's episode, I will adapt and also be very, very reactive to the stimuli that come along because I'm bad at video games. So, in the previous episodes, we had managed to get some things up and running with our base. We have ourselves a little mushroom pad over here. Mushroom, snake. So anyway, you guys remember? That's old internet stuff. Never mind. I'm dating myself right now because no girl will have me. Well, let's take a look. Our rice pads are going okay. They're providing us with some starch and some other stuff. I do think that it might be a decent idea to increase our food output slightly. Like, I don't think we have to do it, but I think it would be a smart idea. We are producing a little bit of extra meat. All of our supplies are looking semi-okay right now. They aren't looking amazing, but they're looking well enough. I do see a lot of people getting hungry, and so we may need to expand out a little bit more sooner rather than later. I think that's the problem we're going to run into. I think we could use another dormitory as well. That would be the next part that I would highly recommend, is maybe we get a southern dormitory, because I was taking a look, and it looks like we're almost functioning at max capacity almost all the time. I almost said mask capacity. Like, nope, we don't need mask capacity, not right now. But yeah, our food is falling off slightly, and so I think it might be a decent idea to go back through and fiddle with some of the things that'll make us a bit more productive when it comes to that. So over here on this side, we can go ahead and we can make ourselves some more vitra meat. We only have a little bit of plastic, though, which concerns me. Trying to decide exactly whether or not I want to do this, because biologists do need to check on this every now and again. Let's take that. We'll put in two of these guys right here. We have a lot of starches, and so my hope is that... Here, let me click off of that real quick. There's a little bit of a disconnect right there, and I would recommend that maybe they change that, where if you click off... So, let's say that I click this, and then I click... Well, I click inside this area, then I click on the notepad. I can't click this off right here without clicking the little arrow up here, but from one menu up, you can click out of it. I don't know, it's just a weird little idiosyncrasy that I noticed. So this over here has all been prioritized. It's just that ain't nobody taking care of it because I think they're all busy being hangry. We might also have a bottleneck over here with the way that some of the machines are functioning, because it looks like they've got enough food inside of them. It just appears as though maybe they can't produce quite fast enough. So it might be an okay idea for our next thing to go back through and make ourselves another dining room and another sleeping quarters down and around this way, so the workers aren't having to walk around quite so far in order to get between point A and point B. I think it might effectively split the base in half and make it so that we have people that live on the north side, and then we got our Southside Rollahs ready to go. I got a machine being built over here. Sounds good to me. Is anybody working in the prefab right now? Or, I'm sorry, in the fabricator? It's odd that we have... I think it's because what ended up happening... I think what must have happened is that because I bulldozed a bunch of stuff and I sort of restarted a little bit with all of our food production, we might be a little bit behind right now. So anyways, we got a little bit more production taking place over here. He's making drugs out of our synthesized parts. That's good enough for me. When is our next output from all of these? Or does it come on like a big wave? It looks like it is. It looks like it's going to hit in a big wave. Maybe that's why everything seems like it's so desperate every couple seconds, where I feel like I have feast and famine stuff going on. I think I also just sold a bunch of stuff too, so that might have been my fault. I have a lot of people looking sleepy on the south side, so let's go ahead and on the south side hood, we're going to make this all better. I need to get myself a canteen first and foremost, and so we've got enough materials to get that done right here. I can make that bigger or smaller if I wanted to. I'm going to stay small for right now. I do think it would be cool later on to retrofit and go back through and make everything bigger and more effective, and I'm sure that I can make this better just by expanding its size out. I don't know how that would affect the things that it's attached to, but it would be a nice thing to think about. Are these full now? Like, I would love for these to have enough food inside of them. So, see, they're not stocking that one right there. Why is that one not being stocked? Is he not beautiful enough? Also, what's going on with our immigration plan? It's been a while since I played the game last, and so I need to know what's going on with my immigration landing permissions. We have only traders. We have no colonists coming in. That's actually really, really good. I was hoping that I already did that because we're kind of at a stopgap right now where we have like way too much stuff going on, and I need a catch-up period. I need a period where I can just hang out for a minute and make sure that things are getting done and that we have space for the incoming immigrants, because we want them to be added to our workforce, but we don't want them to fly all the way out here just to die on this barren rock with the rest of us, and so I want to make sure it's all functioning. I do think we're a little bit low on workers right now, which is a tiny bit of a bummer. This one guy right here is sad, but he's been sad like the entire game, so I assume that it's just because he's Mr. Grumplestein hanging out down here, just man, I'm so upset about everything. I get to live in a super awesome space base and be an active part of the future, but yeah, I'm gonna find problems with it. He's gonna be that guy, but you know, those guys exist. God, I feel lucky today. You know why I feel lucky today? I feel very lucky today because my eye is super itchy, and that's why I'm not panning around or doing anything. Sorry. So I feel I should probably speed this up. We'll watch the long term. I think I sold all my vegetables or something is what went wrong in the last episode, or maybe I did that without thinking. Or one of two things happened. I either sold all my vegetables. I can't remember because I haven't played in like a week. Either sold my vegetables, or B, I bulldozed everything and restarted from scratch and rebalanced the ratios of stuff that I was producing. And either one would lead to like a short-term... Oh, solar flare imminent. So now what I need is I need to go here. Yellow alert. Yellow alert. Yellow alert. I like to do the voice. If it was my base, I would have a recording of me going yellow alert. Yellow alert. Yellow alert, whenever there's a yellow alert, and people just have to deal with it. After it would turn off after a little while, and then you would just, please don't get radiation poisoning. I put a nice little airlock up here just for you because I care, because I love you like that, because I feel for you, colonists, because I want you to be happy. That's all that I ever wanted, was for you to be happy. Why are we still draining electricity when solar panels? Are you doing your thing right now? You banging your game right now? Solar panels actually seem like, for the fact that we have a solar flare rocking in here right now, did anybody get irradiated, or are we looking good? I think we adapted to that one quick enough. The only downside of the solar flares that I could see is if you accidentally get a solar flare with the time up very, very fast, and you're like, oh shit, and you forget to turn it back down. Might get yourself into trouble there. Fabricators, are you doing your thing over here? Because I could definitely use more plastics, man. I could use more plastics real bad. We got metal, so that's good. We got lots and lots of metal. I think I traded for it recently. We also needed another storeroom, as I recall. Although we drained out all of our food stocks, so we might not. As soon as the flare is over with, though. Are these filling up right here? Sorta. I do think we are going to have to continue working on our power solution, too. I was going to turn this into the new power valley over here. The power valley. That sounds like a way that people would describe an area where lots of software is. You know how they say Silicon Valley? I don't even like the Power Valley, where all of the iPhone's apps are super made. Not just made normally, they are super made in the shade, with a blade, in the glade, with a grenade. You just keep going with it. Just fill it however you want. I like rhyming things. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. If you're new, because I noticed this series was actually a lot more popular than I expected it to be. I was just throwing this out. When I recorded the first couple episodes, I was just sort of spitballing. Being like, maybe people will like a weird simulator colony builder game. And it turned out to be far more popular than I expected. People are like really attached to this one, which makes me happy. I like it when I hit the bullseye with something. Although technically I have Blitzkrieg's to thank for that, because he's the one that told me about the game. I never even heard of it before. He was like, hey, you know you should be playing this game, right? And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. And then he was like, yeah, man, this game is pretty rad. You should probably go and play it on your channel. And I was like, oh, I should? Well, then I'll go and do that. I'm going to build a big one over here because it makes me happy to build bigger things. And then while we wait for that right there, was this a canteen or was this a dormitory? It was a canteen. So from there, yellow alert can be canceled now. So let's go ahead and jump up in here. And we'll say, I always forget which one it is. There it is. You can hit F6, by the way. You know how in the previous episode I was like, it should have a hotkey. It does. I just don't like F keys. I have never liked F keys in my entire life. I don't like pushing them because I have small hands. And so I can't really like reach them effectively. Anything above the number keys I'm just not okay with. So see, our food seems to fall off in between. I'm wondering if that's just in between harvests or got a trade ship over here. So let's see what he's got for us. It looks like he's actually got pretty useful stuff. What is this right here? That is a carrier bot. I want one of those, and I need one quite badly. Wait, how do I have 19 here but 5 here? Either way, I'm going to give him the surplus. And we haven't produced any guns yet, which is a little bit of a bummer. God, it's so expensive. So expensive right now. I will give you... I like carrier bots because they relieve my workers of having to do mundane tasks. Like, they're nice to have around because essentially it increases... It's a flat increase to your productivity. It essentially relieves you of having to worry about your intelligent workers because they aren't going to be spending all day carrying around dumb shit. And so if you have 4 or 5 carrier bots, they'll take care of just about every bit of carrying in the entire base, and you won't have to worry about it. What is that room right there? Oh, it's another storage room. Okay, so we should probably get another storage room on the south side, too. No, we already have one. Never mind. We'll be fine. What do I want to trade in here? That works. So we'll take the carrier bot for right now. It says we have 19 metal, but I really... It's odd that it wouldn't let me sell more than 5. I don't know if he has a threshold or something on how much he'll purchase, but I'm very confused right now. I don't really care. As long as we get our carrier bot, I think I'm pretty happy with the situation. And so down here on this side, we got a couple of construction. It might be due to the fact that I'm building so many random things around here. I didn't check and actually see what that was going to cost me. I don't feel like my batteries are filling up anymore. Then again, we kind of had a rough day where there was very, very little wind. So as long as the wind continues to fail us here, that would explain why the batteries aren't filling up very quickly. We still got a little bit of time, but we need at least 2 of these cells to be functioning. Woohoo! Our mine almost got hit by a rock. The Earth strikes back. That's going to be sort of like, I don't know, we're enslaving the Earth over here, and so the space-based Earth is like, hey, man, you can't enslave my terrestrial homie like that. And so he just, like, bum-rushed us and tried to take us out. Yeah, we might have a rough night tonight. It might be a little bit nasty. I think we should make it okay with our power, but I do think that we need to start investing in bigger batteries, too. I think that was a second-sized one right here, isn't it? No, that one's just a 5,000. Why am I building so much little stuff? Sometimes when I come back, it gives me that moment of clarity. Sometimes when I come back after not playing for a while, I sit here and I just marvel at the dumb decisions that I've made, and I'll just be like, why did I do this versus doing this? And I'm definitely having one of those moments right now. I'm like, why didn't I just build bigger batteries? Our water supply is weird, too. How is our water supply right now? So our grid usage, it produces 12. Wait, so the grid says that it produces 7.82, not 12. That's a little odd. It's definitely not producing 12. We may need to go all in on a little bit more water, too. It might just be the increased oxygen intake. Our creation process. I also think that the aquifer, something's going wrong with it right now. Like, we've been functioning pretty much at a median value for quite some time now. Hey, look at you over here, filling up the battery. That's what I like to see, and we don't even have it on speedy mode right now. That's what I like to see. Okay, so while they fabricate in here... We got a busted bot down here, which is unfortunate. I wish that he was working a little bit better. But if dreams and wishes were loaves and fishes, we would all be to Jesus. And so anyway, I thought that I made that up. You know that? Like, I thought of that when I was in high school. I'd never heard it before, and so I thought that I made it up, and then I Googled it. And nope, somebody else already said it. In fact, it's pretty old. And I was like, well, damn it. Damn it. This is my life. Everything original that I think that I invent. Everything original. Ain't nothing new up under the sun. Let's see here. We needed a new dormitory as well. And I'm actually going to have these... Oh, I don't know. I mean, we do have a lot of lateral distance covered, which makes me nervous about everything. It'll probably be alright. So with this dormitory down here, we need to get some sundries. I would say that we should probably go drinking fountain for surely. I don't know if I like that drinking fountain right there. Cancel. I recycle you. I tell you no more. And so anyways, can I put this up against a wall somewhere? Like, is there a better way for me to arrange that? Okay, we'll put the water fountain right there. We need a video screen, so we'll put that in right here. We need tables. And so I'll probably put in a little 4-banger right there. At which point I think that leaves us with... pretty much vending. I really, really dislike the fact that I can't put the vending machines up against the wall. It makes me sad. Makes me very, very sad. Probably put in a couple of vending machines down here in the hopes that we can keep those stocked and we can keep those dirty Southsiders from coming north. Oh, look at that. You can see the stars reflected in the panel. That's cool. I like that. So anyways, I might make myself... Well, actually, our food looks okay for right now. Metal's a little bit weak, and I was just complaining about all these guys spending all their time fabricating, too. Got this guy coming in here. He's going to need medical assistance. I would say that producing this is probably a pretty good plan. How many people are upset right now? We actually have quite a few people who are upset, but I'm not quite ready to update. I've got to make, so what we got to do in order to make people happy is we have to provide them with liquor. And so since liquor gets the job done quicker, we got to decide where we want to put the liquor, but we'll figure that out in just a minute. Got one of those Resident Evil type problems. Is anybody going to go down there and fix that robot? Anybody want to fix the robot? Anybody? There you go. He's fixing the robot. Why is our engineer in a spacesuit inside? You know you can take that off, right, buddy? You don't have to wear that in here. I went to absolute painful, like for real, painful lengths to make sure that you wouldn't have to put those in right there. I rotted from the inside out for you. And yet you're still doing things you should not be doing. We're only halfway through the night. We're draining out battery over there. We still got 2 cells nice and full. I think our power situation should be fine for the next little bit. I'll probably loop power around this way, just to save the space. Although a loop back over here might be good for an alternate path for people that want to get around. If I could zigzag something across here, I think you can make blank tiles. I don't remember exactly where they... I think you can make like a blank room that is nothing somewhere, and then people can just walk across them. I think that's it right there, like a base pad. A simple pad that can be used to expand the base cheaply. I don't know what a base pad does. It's like, is it just like a normal... Maybe you can pre-build things over there that makes it cheaper when you place other stuff on top of it. Like, essentially, it's getting a little bit of your work out of the way so that you can plan things beforehand. I don't know. Haven't fiddled around with it much. So, see, now we're producing more water. I wonder what actually affects the amount of water you produce. Like, whether it has something to do with, I don't know, like lunar cycles? Or it's odd, the way that the water fluctuates. Like, some days you get way more out of the aquifer, and some days you get less. If you don't know, an aquifer is just a big table of water underneath the ground. It's just a big water cave. That's all that it is. This guy is, like, super depressed, so we should probably get on that. I do think that it's spreading as well. However... I'll probably make a bar right here then, or maybe something like that. I don't know why so many people are upset right now. A couple of people died, but everybody should be, other than that, pretty good. And when they died, it was like a month ago, so if they're still upset about it, how dare they have human feelings and a connection to their fellow man. Food's looking good up there. Down here, we should be able to get these stocked sooner rather than later. Are you a carrier bot or a constructor? That's CNT2, our homie. He's been around for a long time. He's been down for so long, and then they should restock all of these down here. So that all the workers on the south side, it's probably quicker for people like on this line to go up to there. But we're going to be building out this way, and so this will give them somewhere down in here to move from. Got the dorm. Let me connect that up real fast and make sure that that's along the way. I don't know what I want to do over here with this space. The security room appears to be holding it down for right now. I think it might be wise. Our food situation is recovering. So a little bit of bounce back going on. That does make me feel pretty happy. I think we could use a couple more medics. I think that our plastics are not being fabricated quickly enough. And so I'm thinking we may want to hang out and, I don't know, make another fab right here or something like that. Make sure that it's extra fabulous. Let me have a look. What can I fit over here? Let's say that I wanted to make a processing plant. Can I fit anything in here? I can. But I think there would be other spots first that I would trust more. I mean, we want to keep it semi-near a stockpile. And then we also want to keep it sort of nearby where the processed goods are going to be used as well. So that I'm not totally wasting my time. Do we have anybody working the mines right now? Okay, so we are processing things. It's just taking us a little while. I do think we need another fabricator, though. And once we get that done, so we'll have the second dormitory, we have the second canteen, we got the second fab. Once that's all good to go, we can reopen immigration and we can let people back in because we are definitely recovering right now with regards to our food situation. And so, yes, we had a minor impact on one of our connections. That one right there. I would not recommend what you were doing right now. I was going to say, that hallway is non-functional right now. You know, I'd like to stand inside this tube over here. The lack of oxygen, the anoxism, it makes me feel bad. I don't know if that's even a word, but I just used it, so it's a word now. The anoxic nature of this tunnel really makes me feel anoxic just means that there's no oxygen there. It's an environment that is deprived of oxygen. So, for example, if you're trying to produce petroleum, things like that, you need an anoxic environment. In fact, you want to find something like old swamps. That's the best place. So if you had prehistoric swamps, what would happen is plant matter and animal matter would fall down to the bottom of the swamp. Anoxic environment, it can't rot properly. It still rots, but it rots in its own new and special way. But the taphonomy is essentially different, although I guess you can't really call it taphonomy. Taphonomy, so if you don't know what taphonomy is the study of what happens to a dead body after it dies in between the time the animal falls down and it becomes a fossil. And so you can be doing like millions of years worth of work here. Millions of years worth of detective work if you're trying to figure out the taphonomy of a particular animal. But there are indicative things that you can find in a corpse where you'd be like, well, the bone is degraded in this way, and we know that it happened right after the animal died and not during transfer, there's a special word for it when the body gets moved around by like landslides and stuff, and I can't remember what it was. College was a long time ago. So anyways, there's a special word for what it's a special sciencey word for when a corpse moves around after it's been deposited somewhere. Well, anyways, what was I talking about in the first place? I was talking about taphonomy for some reason. What was I talking about taphonomy for? Anyways, anoxic environments. It's where oil and stuff is made. We got a trade ship. It's gonna be a raid ship. If he doesn't give me what I paid, ship. He does have things that I want, but I could just produce my own. He has a constructor bot too, which would be super badass. Oh well, I'm gonna send him on his way. I don't really need anything out of him right now. I assume that the reason why it says, for example, that we can only give him 2 ore is because the other stuff is actually in use. So you see these metals and plastics right here? I think they're effectively taken off the trade table. Once they're inside of a machine, they're considered to no longer be in play, quote unquote. And so, damn, this thing produces a lot of power. And since it produces so much power, like, what do you produce, 30? So since you produce 30, technically I could recycle this little bastard right here, and then I could put something else in this spot, like a bigger battery, and then once I get a bigger battery, I could then recycle some of these little guys right here, especially since the game almost gives you 1 for 1 on your resources back. That's a long walk right there. I need something that, an airlock that goes to this side of the base, what I should have done, and so there's some tomfoolery here in the base building process. What I should have done is I should have been up against this wall right here, building outwards this way, because what's happened is all of my airlocks are on the left-hand side of the base, so anytime work needs to get done over and in here, like 100 people have to walk all the way around the horn to do anything. A little bit of a waste. I might be able to get an airlock down here maybe that would speed it up slightly, or an airlock up here that would speed it up slightly, just like a maintenance airlock. That might, however, make this one a tad redundant. And I don't want to have airlocks everywhere. I don't want to be that guy with the shitty base, but I'm afraid it's too late. My name is Splattercat. I will see you all later. We got to get some more water, so I'll get on that in just a minute. Hi to everybody. This is Planetbase. I'll see y'all next time.